Hey folks, RJ Beam here with Premeditated Fiction, and today we are reviewing Artemis by Andy Weir. So, I'm RJ Beam, and this is Premeditated Fiction. Today I'm going to review the second novel by Andy Weir, who is known for the blockbuster novel and movie The Martian, the movie starring Matt Damon. This is a second novel, Artemis, which does not pick up where The Martian left off. This is a completely new story. In this particular story, it concentrates on a young lady by the name of Jazz, or Jasmine, and she lives on the moon. She lives on the first colony on the moon, and her job is essentially being a delivery person. She's got a legitimate delivery person job, but on the side she's also a little bit of a smuggler. So she brings people stuff like, cigars, some alcohols that are illegal, because in an environment like the moon, where everybody's living in oxygen-rich, basically big bubbles, you don't want to have things like fire or things that are highly flammable, because fire is one of your biggest enemies in an oxygen-rich environment. So one of her customers brings to her an idea where she could potentially make a lot of money if he helps her with some underhanded tactics as it relates to a business transaction. Of course, throughout the course of her trying to do these underhanded tactics, helping him along, things go sideways, the plan doesn't go as planned, and next thing you know, she is in trouble. She's on the run from the law. There's a couple of murders that are involved. Her life is on the line, so not only is she running from the law, but she's running from some murderers, some assassins, and she ends up having to make everything right. So the story does a pretty good job with some world building. It's a good, fast-paced, kind of a crime caper thriller. So in a sci-fi world, which really attracted me. I enjoy mysteries and thrillers. That's kind of my niche. But I also do have a love for sci-fi, so I couldn't help but to pick this one up. I enjoyed The Martian, and when I saw that his second book was one that was a crime caper, I just could not help myself but to get a copy of it and read it. The last part of the book, where she kind of gets a group of folks together, it's kind of a reminiscent of a Ocean's 11 kind of thing, where she ends up having to have a pretty good plan. And if you're a fan of stuff like Ocean's 11 and you're a fan of science fiction, if you like The Martian, I think you'll like this. The one thing that I didn't like too much about it was the character Jazz. She really was written kind of like a YA kind of character. She's 26 years old, but she really acted like a teenager. And some of the things that she did, some of the things that she's saying, it just seemed like it was too forced into trying to be this young teenager who's just trying to be rebellious, and just didn't seem as rebellious as they could be. It was almost like a forced rebellion. But overall, it was a really good story. It was fun to read. Really, really good world building. One of the things that I hate in some science fiction books where they do world building, where you get these giant info dumps. There was no info dumps in this one, where when there was a plot point that had to do with a particular piece of information or technology, a story or a little vignette was given so that you kind of understood why that technology or why that was in place the way it was. So it wasn't like these big giant info dumps. And some of these information dumps were handled really well too, where in between a couple of the chapters, Jazz has got a pen pal back on Earth, somebody that she met in grade school, part of a grade school assignment. And so there's emails between the two of them, and in those emails it starts to pluck in some nuggets that not only moves the story forward as it relates to how how she's going to get out of this situation and what she's going to do, but also plugs in some of your world building as to what's going on back on Earth and why certain things are happening in space. I do need to make sure that I say my copy of this book was provided to me electronically free through NetGalley, and so I received an advanced reader copy. The book is on sale now. I'm a little bit late in getting this review posted. If you are interested in finding out more about books that I recommend, or if you are interested as an author in finding about police procedure, please make sure to click that subscribe button, and I will talk to you again later.